Okay, now let us begin with the press. So press again I would say बहुत ज़्यादा चीजें हैं, but जो बहुत ज़्यादा most important है, we have to remember those things only. Okay, so let us begin with the vernacular press act only because that is the most important topic. So yeah, please shoot something about vernacular press act. At least 20-30 words should be there because वो act इतना comprehensive है और उसके जो keywords हैं that are more important. Okay, and rest again I would say there is no use of listening the discussion if you are not participating or if you are not answering into it. Okay, those who are just like listening, it's a request, please try to answer. Okay, now there are some keywords which we shall focus upon. The first one is the Calcutta General newspaper. So that was started by James Augustus Hickey, followed by the Bengal Gazette, C. Augustus Hickey. Okay, then there was a newspaper named as Som Prakash. Som Prakash was the newspaper and it is important. Anyone can tell me who started this Som Prakash? And this Som Prakash is a PYQ. Som Prakash is a PYQ. And there is one more point associated with the Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar is the Bethune College. Okay, Bethune College is very much important. Recent years may they have asked it. Fine. So just remember. And जो Som Prakash newspaper था, okay, that was slammed by this vernacular press act. Okay, वो कौन सा न्यूज़पेपर था जो कि ओवरनाइट ही इंग्लिश में कन्वर्ट हो गया था टू escape from this vernacular press act? अमृत बाजार पत्रिका. Who started अमृत बाजार पत्रिका? And who is called as the liberator of the press? Liberator of the press. So yeah, Ghosh brothers, and in that also Shishir Kumar Ghosh was related to Amrit Bazar Patrika, and Amrit Bazar Patrika was a newspaper which converted or transformed into the English language overnight. Fine. Liberator of the press was a Met Cafe, again a PYQ. So remember it. Though these once you start preparing and it's been so many years in this preparation, then it seems these points are somewhere in your mind. You need not to remember. But those who have started recently or it's been 1 year or 7 months of the preparation, I would highly recommend revising these short points because in last time, what happens, जो बहुत बड़ी बातें होती है या जो समझने वाली चीज होती है वो डेफिनेटली आपकी मेमोरी में रहती है बिकॉज आप उसे काफी समय से पढ़ते हैं. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू दीज पॉइंट्स रैपिड पॉइंट्स और शॉर्ट पॉइंट्स और टिटबिट्स होते हैं, ये कई बार दिमाग में फिक्स नहीं हो पाते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ द लैक ऑफ रिविजन. राइट, तो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज जो ऐसे वाले पॉइंट है, ठीक है, जिससे डेफिनेटली 2 मार्क्स स्कोर करना इज नॉट अ बिग डील, बट बिकॉज ऑफ योर लैक ऑफ रिविजन यू विल फंबल. ओके, आइदर यू विल मार्क लॉर्ड मेट काफे और ऑकलैंड, एलन बॉर्गो और लिटन वट एवर, कुछ भी लगा सकते हो आप. मेट काफे को छोड़ के आप कोई भी मार्क कर सकते हो ऑप्शन. ठीक है, तो ये नहीं होना चाहिए और ये नहीं होगा वंस यू स्टार्ट फ्रीक्वेंट रिविजन्स, वंस यू स्टार्ट डूइंग, तो ऐसा नहीं. Okay. Now, next comes the Hindu Patriot. Now, this is again a PY. Hindu Patriot. Okay, and I am just asking the Whopper team, जो UPSC ने पूछा था कि who was a writer? Who was a writer of the Hindu Patriot? Simple question. Harish Chandra Mukherjee. And it was in English language. Okay. English. And like no anyone can tell me the around year of the Met Cafe, like कौन से गवर्नर जनरल या वॉइसरॉय के आसपास उनका टाइम पीरियड है, बिकॉज दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट. मैट काफे का आसपास का ईयर, इफ एनीवन कैन टेल मी. हिंदू पैट्रियट हरीश चंद्र मुखर्जी, करेक्ट. एंड हरीश चंद्र मुखर्जी का हिंदू पैट्रियट was associated with which revolt? We have discussed this yesterday. Try to recall. Meanwhile, Met Cafe. Okay, so Met Cafe was around 1835, and this libretto press was happened in this year only, 1835. This is important. Now there were two newspapers published by Tilak. Can anyone tell me the name of newspaper along with the language in which those newspapers were published? So Kesari was in Marathi and Maharata was in English. Correct. And he started the Ganpati festival as well at the time of Ganpati festival was started by the Tilak. कौन से movement के समय? Just remember or try to recall it. Meanwhile, which point I was telling you, anyone could answer that point कि हरीश चंद्र मुखर्जी का जो हिंदू पैट्रियट न्यूज़पेपर था was associated with which revolt? So it was Indigo revolt. Okay, Indigo revolt. Now this revolt again have been asked in 2020 prelims. So this is important. And two leaders were associated, that were Vishwas or Biswas brothers. Okay. However, just remember this. Okay. And then Neil Darpan is associated with it. So this is again something important we have to remember. Fine. Then Ganpati festival. So it was 1893, and it was again to just pump up the Swadeshi movement and that era. Fine. And there are some more newspapers, for example, Al Hilal and Al Bilaq. This is important. Al Hilal, Al Bilaq. Anyone remember? Both newspapers were started by Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. Okay. Al Hilal, Al Bilaq. Okay. So these two newspapers are important. Then there was a newspaper named as Indu Prakash. So Indu Prakash was published by Indu Prakash Mahadev Govind Ghanani. And Rust Goftar. This is a PYQ. Rust Goftar. There are some points associated with this Rust Goftar, like for example, who started it, in which language they started. After that, जो ये newspaper start किया गया था, what was the objective for the scene, ठीक है? And Rust Goftar is a PYQ. तो I would ask कि ये वाला जो न्यूज़पेपर है, इसको आपको काफी 30-40 वर्ड्स में प्रिपेयर करके रखना होगा, या 30-40 वर्ड्स का मतलब है 2-3 लाइन्स में कीवर्ड्स के साथ. This is important, Rust Goftar, ठीक है? So Dada Bhai Naroji is correct. And it was in Gujarati language. Gujarati. Okay. And it was started to promote the interest of the Parsi community or to uplift the Parsi community. Okay. So this newspaper is important. All right. Bengal Gazette was also there, which we have discussed earlier. बंगाल गजट, रस गुफ्ता, इंडियन मिरर, स्वदेश मित्रम, द हिंदू, इवन जो आज का द हिंदू, एनीवन कैन टेल द हिंदू किसने स्टार्ट किया था? द हिंदू। इतना द हिंदू पढ़ते हैं आप लोग, कितने सालों से पढ़ रहे होंगे? डू यू रिमेंबर द राइटर? देन कॉमन व्हील, कॉमन व्हील। So the Hindu was started by Subramanyam Iyer, okay, and Commonweal Annie Besant, and then leader and Abhyudaya, leader Abhyudaya, and सर जो एक था न्यूज़पेपर सत्य प्रकाश, ओके. Yes, Triple M. Madan Mohan Malviya was associated with these both of the newspapers. Okay, yeah, and then Satya Prakash. Satya Prakash is not a PYQ, hence I don't think he was other important. Okay, but like no, for our noble duty, we can just remember it. He was Karson Das Mulji. So remember Satya Prakash and Satyarth Prakash, okay, both are different. If any one of you is feeling like, no, what happened? So both of the newspapers are different, right?